for those of you who are brand new with us that are just to the point where you're making your first dials, you're booking your first appointments. When you see somebody post a success story, oh, ran my first appointment, wrote 8,000 in premium. Yay, but that's not normal. So don't compare yourself to that and feel like you're a loser, like you're not cut out for it because you're not making that big sale on your first appointment. It's a process, but the more activity you put in, the quicker that learning curve is, which is going to help you exponentially in the long run, make way more faster. So I hope that made sense. One of the things a couple of y'all have reached out and asked me to talk about, a lot of times when you're running these leads, you're sitting in the home, you're running the appointment, and you get the objection, well, I don't really need insurance because I've got money, sitting in an account, that's going to take care of all that for me. And I'll always looking for clarity. I'll say, Jim, help me understand. So what you're telling me is you have money in a bank account enough to cover a burial, cover all of your end of life expenses, so your family doesn't have to come out of pocket. So on the low end, we're talking 10 grand absolute minimum, but more realistically, 15, 20, 25,000. Is that what you're telling me? You have an account with that amount of money in it waiting for you to pass, and all your kids have to do is use that money to cover your expenses? Yep. I've got a big chunk set aside and save for that. Why did you send the form in? If you knew, hey, when I read this card and it was talking about insurance and blah, 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 final expenses, what's the purpose of the form if you already know you have a bank account specifically set aside for that? Like, I want to find out what was it that prompted them to say, I need this information. This is important. I'm going to take this to my mailbox and I'm going to stick the little red flaggy thing up and send it off so that I can see what this is about. Like that's first and foremost. You got to get back to the why of what prompted them sending the form in. Why fill the form out if you knew you already had money set aside? Pause on that and let me go back to the beginning of the appointment. And you hear me say over and over and over again, your first primary objective, your first number one responsibility is you have to get the person to like you. You have to get them to like you from the beginning. If they don't like you, they don't trust you. If they don't trust you, they're not letting you help them with their life insurance and other needs, financial needs that they have. They're going to get it from somewhere else, but it's going to be somebody that they like and they trust. So you can't come into an appointment with this idea, hey, what's your age, height, weight, you smoke or not, and let's see what we can do for you. You have to get them to like you in the beginning and build that trust, build that likability along the whole in-home process. If you'll do that, a lot of these objections that you hear and you experience will not take place. They won't happen, because if people like you and trust you, they already know they sent the card in for insurance. They're just looking for somebody they like and they trust that can help them get that insurance that they need. So that's your number one responsibility, is making sure when from the time, really even on the phone, but when I get to the door, that person opens the door, the way I'm dressed, my physical presence, the way I smile, the way I interact, the way I sound when I talk to them, they have to like me. That is my number one objective. And as that likability grows, with that comes trust. People do business with people they like and they trust. And when that likability and that trust is there, then it's like, it's a no-brainer to let's get this insurance crap taken care of. Like, it's been fun talking, getting to know you. We got similarities. Maybe we don't, but you empathize with me, blah, blah. And now that likability and trust, oh yeah, we got to get the insurance figured out. We got to get that taken care of. Like, you're their guy, you're their girl. If you'll do that in the beginning, these bullcrap objections don't come up later in the conversation. And you've heard me say before, if people tell you, well, let me think about it, or, hey, we got to crunch some numbers and we'll get back with you. Where's your business card? Or, oh, you know what, that's great, but we've got it taken care of this way. We're just going to do. If you're getting those objections, like in a nice way, they don't like you enough to where they trust you. And it's funny because, and I did the same thing. I'm guilty of it too. So when I tell you something about what I hear from new agents, don't think I'm picking on them. No, I'm picturing myself as that brand new agent. Yep, screwed that one up. Yep, did that too. Yep, I made that same mistake probably more times than you have. That's what I'm referring to. So when an agent calls me and tells me, nah, I didn't make the sale, but they like me. They really like me. Like we talked, and they gave me coffee and even some old stale donuts from Krispy Kreme. Like they really like me. It's like, bro, I'm glad they like you. They're not calling you back. Like you saw them yesterday, your business card went out in the trash this morning for them. Like they're not hanging on to your business card and sitting there crunching numbers and being like, we got to call Rory back here in a little bit because we told him we'd call him. That's not how it works. You got that one chance in front of them to help them, and that likability and that trust has to be there. And you say, well, Mark, why do you spend so much time harping on this likability and this trust in the beginning? Well, it's like, if that's going to eliminate all these objections that you're struggling with, why wouldn't we focus on building that likability and that trust and how to do that if the objections aren't going to be there because they like me and they trust me? The foundation has to be there. And it is a split few seconds from the time they open that door that they're going to be like, I'm going to continue to listen to this person, or how can I get them off my front porch as soon as possible? So be aware of that and know that, hey, my objective when I first meet that client on their front porch at the front door, when they open it, is from that moment on, they have to like me and they have to trust me. And it's up to me to be able, in how I portray myself, in my appearance, how I portray myself in the way I talk to them. It's up to me to make sure that I'm likable and that I'm trustworthy. And as that conversation goes on, that trustworthiness is built, then you'll know, okay, hey, now it's time to take care of the insurance. And the good news is we don't have to deal with all these bullcrap objections. I know what I'm talking about on this. Just trust me. You're brand new. You want to get into salesman mode, and people have to trust you and like you before they'll listen to what you know about your product or whatever you're selling. So going back to that example, oh, I've got money in the bank. I'm just going to use that. One of the things I'll just help them realize is I'll say, Jim, so that's great. You tell me, how much did you say you have set aside just for that? Well, I've got about $18,000 in there. Okay. Hey, man, that's fantastic. That's more than most people can say. Most people do not have $18,000 just sitting in a spare account to cover their burial. Most people don't have $18,000 to their name, much less 18,000 specifically in an account just to cover a burial. So I'm always edifying, hey, that's great that you've been thinking about this and planning ahead. Let me ask you this, Jim, knowing that you have that for that, when you sent this card in, what were you looking for this to take care of, if in your mind you already had that taken care of through that bank account? And inevitably what you're going to find out is, it's like, hey, they know that money's there just in case, but they also know how life insurance works. And the idea is, I'd rather find a better deal with life insurance than them just have to use that whole account. And I know they know that, but I'm trying to help them convey that and explain that was their reason for looking. Well, and they'll use it in terms like, I was just seeing if I could get a really good deal, or, well, if it's worth it, if it makes sense. And at that point, it's just helping them see, hey, look, you die tomorrow, great. You've got $18,000 sitting in a bank account that they can use for your burial, potentially. And when I say potentially, I'm not trying to get out in the weeds here, but if it's just his name on that bank account, guess what? His kids, his grandkids, his nephew, his niece, they can't go access that and use that for burial if his name's on the account, if it's just his name. So there's ways where the account has to be linked to another individual. And it even is as nitpicky as, is it Jim Franklin and his son, or Jim Franklin or his son? There's even ways those tiny two little words, and or whatever, can affect on who has the ability to access that account immediately for burial costs, or does that account go to probate and get locked up for 2.5 years, or a year and a half, 2.5 years? And it's helping people understand and realize this, so they're not just erroneously thinking, oh, I died, they can go get 18 grand out of my account, cover my funeral, and we don't need life insurance. That's how simplistic they want to think it is. And the reality is that's not the case. So for argument's sake, let's just assume that he's got his son's name on the account as well. And if he dies, his son has access to everything in there and can draw it out like that and go pay a funeral home if need be. Let's just assume that's the case. And then it's like, Jim, let me ask you this. Yeah, and all this is part of the process. I'm finding out, besides this account, what else does he have? What other assets are there that his son has access to in case this wasn't enough? I want to know it all. But if we're talking specifically about this account, it's like, Jim, hey, when you pass and your son has access to this account, he's going to take that 18,000 and he's going to use that for your funeral. You die another 15 years from now. What happens if the funeral is going to cost more than the $18,000 sitting in that account? Like, you need to help him understand, hey, if an 18,000 might cover a funeral now, but it may not cover it 10, 15, 20 years from now with the inflation and the cost of everything going up. And in the society and day and age we're living in now, that is 100% like stark reality in front of us all. Like, everything is just skyrocketing in the pricing. So I want him to think, hey, long term, when this happens, whether it's tomorrow or whether it's 20 years from now, one, is this going to be enough? But two, would you rather him just have to access all this and throw it all towards a funeral? Or how about this? What if that account pays the premium on the insurance policy, whether it's $70 a month, $100 a month, $170 a month, I don't care. What if that $18,000 account pays the premiums on this policy for your new $20,000 life insurance policy? And now you stroke out and pass away next month, next year, they've got 20,000 paying out, plus the 17,000 plus still in the bank account that hasn't paid the premiums yet. You see how his $18,000 immediately just grew for him right then and there? Yes, he had it set aside for funeral expenses, but now if we're taking that and putting it towards a life insurance policy that's going to cover those funeral expenses, when he dies, he gets the death benefit, 20,000, let's say, plus his son still has everything that's left in that account that was paying those premiums over the year until he passed, or the 20 years until he passed. It's immediately multiplying his money. And now what he has in that account is going to work for him vastly more than what's sitting there, because it's now being used to pay an insurance premium on another $20,000, $25,000, $15,000 life insurance policy that's going to pay out and cover those expenses, plus what's left over in the account he still has access to. So it's just helping people realize, hey, I can either have 18,000 sitting in an account, and when I die, they're supposed to use that towards the funeral. If it covers it, great. They can have what's left over. If it doesn't cover it, at least it's a big chunk towards what they're going to now have to come out of pocket for. Or that same $18,000 can now be used to pay a policy premium at $50, $100, $150 a month. And now he's got another $15,000, $20,000 bucket of money account, if you will. So when he dies, that pays out, plus all this that's still left in the original bank account that was going to cover all that. I hope you're tracking with me on this, because this is how you can help people think through, yes, I've got this sitting there for that purpose, but if what's sitting there pays for this, now in a lot of cases, I'm doubling, sometimes tripling what I originally had. And it's making my money go to work for me a lot longer, a lot bigger now. And I'm going to leave more for my kids when I pass, rather than just, well, I had this little bank account set up for all that and I don't need no insurance. If they really believed that, if they really felt that way, they wouldn't send the card in the first place. I'm just telling you. That's where you have to build that likability and that trust, to where you can sit there and communicate that to them, and they'll listen. If they like you and they trust you, they'll listen to what you have to say. You know, the old expression, people don't care what you know until they know that you care. And when people know that you care and that you really are intently listening to what their need is, and and then they'll listen when you show them that you have the resources to meet those needs. But you've got to establish that in the beginning, that, hey, I'm here to help you. I've got the best resources to help you. And that's truly my intent. I'm not just coming in with the mindset that I'm going to sell you life insurance because that's what you asked for. There's a difference between a life insurance salesman and somebody that's there helping people take care of their life insurance needs. Big, big difference. If you'll follow this and the way we teach this, you'll last a lot longer and make way more money than the average insurance agents that ever gets their insurance license. So trust me on that. All right, so that was kind of dealing with when people have a bank account set aside, or they've got money set aside to cover funeral expenses, final expenses, whatever. again, you don't get as many of those objections if people really do like you and they really trust you, because they sent the card in, they have a need. It's up to you to help uncover that need and have that likability and that trust there so that they will let you help them meet that need. It's a lot of it's human psychology. It really is. And I get when you're brand new and you just thinking all these salesman tactics and phrases and words. In most cases, that's the most detrimental thing, because people now think you're trying to sell them and they have that fear of being sold. They love to buy, but they have that fear of being sold. All right. So next question somebody asked about referrals. How do you do referrals? Referrals are they're just that. When that likability and that trust is there that a client has with you, they're going to want you to turn around and help their friends and family. They are not going to seek you out. In most cases, they are not going to seek you out and feel like they're burdening you with that responsibility of now going to their friends and family to help them. Some of them will straight up say that, but the majority of them will not. So there's several ways I get referrals. The very first and simple way is ask for them. Ask for them. Jim, now that we got this taken care of, now that this concern that you had when you sent this card in, now that we've taken care of that, we've got that fixed and put to rest, and you never have to worry about this again, your kids are taken care of, who else do you know that is in a similar situation to you and needs me to come talk to them and make sure that they're taken care of and their kids and grandkids are all taken care of? Who else do you know? Like, just by asking that specific question to them, you'd be surprised at the number of people that say, well, actually, I was just talking to my aunt the other day, and she said she needed life insurance, and she's concerned about making sure her kids don't struggle to bury her, and you should call her. Like, you'd be surprised at the number of people that will tell you, hey, follow up with this person, call this person, here's the number for this person. Because they like you and they trust you. They've just let you help them with some of their most important needs, that foundational needs that they're going to have when they pass, and they've entrusted you to help them. Why wouldn't they want you to help their friends and family? Why wouldn't they want you to be the family guy? But too many agents are just, yeah, made it $700, $800, boom, skip out onto the next one. And they don't take the time to sit there and find out from these people, hey, who else do you know? Who else is a similar situation? People know people like them. You know, this is the whole idea of, hey, show me the five people you hang out with the most, and I'll show you the type of income that you're going to have. I'll show you the type of lifestyle that you're going to have, because we gravitate towards people that are like us. So when you've just helped a client with their basic life insurance needs, chances are really strong they've got friends, they've got family, they've got church people, they've got extended relatives, they've got all kinds of people in their life that are a lot like them and in similar situations. In fact, some of these clients that you sit with and you find out, oh, they just got Lincoln Heritage, or, oh, they got True Stage and Kuna Mutual, or, oh, they got New York Life and AARP. And you hear this, and then you'd be surprised the number of those people have it because their grandma told them they needed to go get it, or their aunt told them they needed to go get it, or their cousin or their mom or whoever said, hey, we just got life insurance through New York Life and AARP. You need to get some too. And they went and got some, and about the time they were getting some, they sent in the card to you, and you've come and helped them, and now their whole family that's loaded up with New York Life and AARP needs to see why they don't need to have that crappy coverage, why they don't need to hang on to that. So getting them right there to sit there and say, hey, who do you know that could use the same help that I've helped you with tonight? Who do you know that needs this same information? You didn't realize this policy was going up on you every 5 years, and ours is locked in and stays the same for the rest of your life. Who else do you know that has these kind of policies and has no idea this is what's going to happen? So by simply asking for referrals, you can get lists and names of people right there. And remember, always get the number. Always get the number. Don't ever say, well, just have your cousin call me, have your aunt call me. You know, I'm leaving you a couple extra business cards for her. They'll never call you. Okay. Well, one time this person called me and said, right, and that was the exception. And you don't build your business based off your exceptions. You build your business based off the general rule of thumb. They won't call you. So you have to be the one to get their number so that you can follow up with them. And when you tell them, I'm going to follow up with your family member, I'm going to follow up with your cousin, whoever, follow up with them, stick to it, do what you said you were going to do. Make sure that you're treating their family just like you treated them, and you would want your family to be treated. So ask for referrals. Somebody just mentioned, hey, ask them to call their friend or family right there in front of you. If you got time, do that. If you've got the time, and say, hey, why don't you give them a call right now? Let's just make a quick introduction, and we'll let them know that, hey, when I'm on this side of town next week, beginning of next week or later this week, I'm going to be calling them. I'm going to be following up with them, and I'm going to make sure that we get the information out to them that we told them we would. So you've got that instant connection that, hey, my friend or my family that just helped me with insurance, or that this gentleman or this lady just helped me with insurance, he's going to get in touch with you next week and follow up with you. Like, that credibility is immediately established. It's there right then and there. So that if you have time, Sal, that, have them call their friends and family right there in front of you. The other way to get referrals, and this is arguably the bigger way, is doing it through what we call the ERS or ERN, Emergency Response System, Emergency Response Network, whatever you want to call it. It's just something that I share with people. Hey, listen, most insurance companies, and they send their agents out to sell you insurance. The vast majority of times that you're going to buy insurance from an agent, in most cases, you'll never see or hear from that agent again. And that's how a lot of these companies teach it. Hey, go out, help this client, get them their insurance, help them with what they need, and then we got tons of other people to take care of. And while that's true, these are your clients for life now. You don't want them to just be sitting there exposed, left open to whoever else comes along. Well, my agent, I haven't heard from him in 3 years. So yeah, you got something else, help me with something else. I don't even know if my agent's still in the business anymore, because remember, the average person lasts 6 to 8 months in it. You got to view these people as, hey, these are your clients for life now. And one thing I'll joke when I'm sitting with them, I'll say, hey, Becky, sent this card in. You're stuck with me. I'm sorry. I'm your agent for life now. When you sent this card in, this is who they sent to you. And it's kind of a permanent deal. Like, we're not breaking up. It's you and me, and we got this for the rest of our life now, because I'm sorry you sent this card in. And while I joke like that, the idea is, hey, look, yes, now I'm your client. I'm your agent for life. You're my client for life, but I'm going to make sure you're taken care of. I'm not just throwing you out there. You got your life insurance. Cool. Whatever happens, good luck. At least you got coverage. You can't have that mentality, but most agents, like, they'll sell a policy to a client and they'll never see them again. They'll never talk to them again. They'll never follow up with them. I'm amazed at the number of agents that sell a policy, and then 3 months later, 6 months later, 3 years later, their policy gets replaced by another agent. I'm amazed at the number of agents that don't call that client and follow up with them and try and figure out, hey, what's going on? I just got a letter saying that you were replacing this policy I sold you 8 months ago. Like, tell me what's happening. If you're willing to make those phone calls and follow up, you've got a client for life. They trust you, they like you, and they want you to be their client for their family. So make sure that you're following up with these agents or these clients after you sell them insurance. Do annual reviews on them. Keep enough detailed notes. Set reminders in your the CRM that we have is by far better than any other CRM that any other insurance agency has out there. We let you know when 6-month reviews are, annual reviews, clients' birthdays, like who's turning 65 for Medicare. Like, we've got everything in there to alert you and remind you. If you'll just log into your CRM every day, it's a login and a click of a button. If you'll do that, you'll see on there every client you've ever written. It's right there in the NAA ARC that you have access to, that most insurance companies don't have, or they pay hundreds, thousands of dollars monthly, annually, just to have access to a CRM like that. And that's not the case with us. It's right there. Every client you've ever written is there for you to follow up with. You just got to be attentive to it. And as you're attentive to it and you're following up with them, that solidifies to that client that, hey, this is my agent. They're taking care of me. I want to make sure they're taking care of the rest of my family as well. So that's huge. Keep track of things like, hey, when I sat with Henry, he had a heart attack 8 months ago. So I had to go guaranteed issue with AIG or Great Western or Sons of Norway. But when he was over a year removed from the heart attack, in about 4 or 5 months, I'm coming back out. and I'm going to follow up and I'm going to get him Americo, or I'm going to get him a standard plan with another company where he can get first day coverage after being 12 months removed from a heart attack. You've got to keep these kind of notes in your system so that you know, hey, in 5 months, I need to follow up with Henry and get him first day coverage. It's going to be better than what we can do right now. But if you don't follow up, guess what? Henry's still filling out cards trying to find better options. And some agent from some other company in 5, 6, 7 months is going to come sit with him and be like, dude, you're paying on a policy that has a 2-year wait. You're long enough removed from your heart attack. We can now get you first day coverage. We're replacing this all day long. All you had to do is pick up the phone and say, Henry, hey, 5 months ago, we couldn't get you first day coverage, but now you're over a year removed from your heart attack. Has anything else changed to your health? Nope, nothing. I'm still good. Awesome. I'm going to be back out there. I'm going to get you covered to get you taken care of. That's the difference between an insurance agent for life rather than just a life insurance agent. You see the difference there? Most people are just going to be life insurance agents, and I got the business card to prove it. And I go out and I sell insurance, and well, maybe I made good money, maybe I didn't, maybe I quit, maybe I didn't. That's a life insurance agent. But an insurance agent for life is the one that says, hey, you're stuck with me, but hey, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to make sure that from this point forward, you're good to go. If any new options come out that are better, I'm going to be in touch and I'm going to help you. I'm going to follow up every year, every couple of years, do a policy review, sit down. Does everything look good? Do we need to make any changes? Hey, here's a better option. People know that you're going to take that responsibility and be their agent for life and follow up with them. There's more referrals right there. These people want you to get in touch with their family. They want you to take care of their family. Why? Because they know the average insurance agent doesn't give a crap about any of that once they make the sale. And again, that's where we're different from most people. I was talking to an agent the other day, and I mean, y'all see the leaderboards, crushed it at the end of last quarter, last year. Since the end of October, I've not dialed a lead, not one single lead. You've seen my stack on my desk, and it's ever growing. These are the leads I have, literally 600, 700, 800 leads that I have. And I've got another 70 or 80 more I've got to print off tomorrow morning since I've been out of town the last week or so. I've got leads out the wazoo that I don't know what to do with. But I don't have to sit there and dial these leads to go book an appointment, to go make a sale, because I've got 4,000 or 5,000 clients from the years of doing this. And I've got people that are constantly reaching out to me, people that I'm constantly following up with, people that I'm going through my daily CRM and saying, oh, there's Alfred. Wrote him last June because he had just had a heart attack and we got him guaranteed issue. He had a heart attack in April. We got him guaranteed issue. Guess what? April's coming up. I got to follow up with him. If he's 1 full year removed from that heart attack, I've got better options now than what I had for him 10 months ago when I sold him last time. And it's by having that all set up to where I know, hey, I've got to follow up with these people because I told them that I would, because I told them that once they hit that limit of how long they were removed from a heart event or a stroke or whatever, or cancer free, I told them I was going to follow up with them. And that's what I do, because that's how you have clients for life. That's how you're an agent for life, rather than just being a life insurance agent that sold a policy and never followed up with them later when better options came available. So since last October, I've not had to dial leads. They're there. I still have them coming in. I pass them off to new agents. If I need them, I'll call them. But in months, I haven't had to do that because I've gotten good at getting referrals by following up with people's people and making sure that these families are taken care of, because that's what we do. And it's just inevitable that the more you do that and the bigger your clientele base is, some of those people you're following up with are people that are reaching out to you saying, hey, you sold me insurance 8 months ago. I took out 10,000. My situation's different. I need some more coverage. I want another policy, another $10,000 policy. Can you still help me? Are you still in the business? Or, hey, my mom just moved to the area and she was asking about who I do my car insurance stuff, who do I do my life insurance with? And I was telling her about you, and she wants to sit down and take a look at this. I love those phone calls, but you don't get those phone calls if people don't feel like they've got an agent for life, that somebody's there to take care of them and take care of their family. I know some of this, and I know we're going to have to wrap it up here in the next few minutes. I know some of it may seem redundant. I guess sometimes I get a point and I just try and drive it home and drive it home. But I want y'all to see, like, this is what separates us. This is what makes us different from everybody else out there trying to sell life insurance. Like, yes, what we do is life insurance sales. It's going through the process. I've got a license. I'm a licensed agent. This person wants life insurance. I'm getting their information. I'm showing them the products that work best. I'm helping them select one, and we're getting them covered. And I'm sending the paperwork in with my name on it. Yes, I'm selling them life insurance. I get it. I get it. But I'm also their agent for life, because in the beginning I established, hey, I'm different. I'm here to help you. You can trust me. That likability, I'm going to get you to like me. That's what I do. You're not telling them this, obviously, but that's your whole process. Get them to like me, get them to trust me. Now that they like me and trust me, they're going to let me peel back the onion, peel back the layers of the onion to find out what was the why, what was the concern, what was on their heart when they sent this card in. What did they want this card to take care of? What was the crisis, financial crisis that they were seeing happening in the future that they were screaming for help when they sent this card in? If they like you and they trust you, they're going to let you be the one to help peel those layers of the onion back and find out why. Why did you send this in? What was the concern here? And you ask those questions and you help uncover that, and you help them see what they've been through or what they've heard of people going through. And at the end of the day, they're people like you. They care about their family. They want their family taken care of. They just want somebody they like and trust that has the resources to help them do that. That's what's going to elevate you and your status in insurance, and elevate your income, and elevate your persona about yourself. That's going to want people to have you come help their families. That's what's going to expand and grow that. When people see that you care, they know that you care. Now that he cares, he's got 30 something companies, and I've heard of most of those names. Like, yeah, he's my guy, she's my girl. Like, I'm going to let them help me. And oh, I want them to take care of my family too. That's the difference, guys. That's the difference. It's not, well, they said they wanted to think about it. What's the magical phrase to get them to change their mind? At that point, their mind's already made up. In the beginning, if you build that likability and that trust and let them see, hey, this person's a normal middle-class American just like me. He's just got resources to help me with this need I had that I sent this card in for. And dang it, he's helping me see how big the need was, that when I sent the card in, I didn't realize, yeah, that's what I want to take care of. That's the difference. And so when you set up this emergency response network, we're going to get back on track here. When you set up this emergency response network, it's just helping them say, hey, look, when you die, who are the first 5, 10, 12 local people that are going to be the first to find out about your passing? Who are they? Because here's what's going to happen, Frank. I'm going to call these people. I'm not trying to sell them anything. I'm not. I'm going to call them, and I'm going to let them know that, hey, Frank and Marge got their insurance needs taken care of, their family protected. And as soon as they pass, we need to get that death claim started and filed for their family, so that they don't have to worry about that through this whole process of shock and grief and planning. They don't have to deal with that because we've already got the death check on the way to them. So who are the first 10, 12 people, Frank, that you know locally that would be the first ones to find out that you or Marge had passed away? And start writing down names and numbers. Hey, I'm going to call them. I don't have all day, every day to sit there and call them. I'm not doing that. I'm going to call them a couple times. About half of these people aren't going to answer because they're not going to recognize my number. So statistically, half of them aren't going to answer. Of the half that do answer, only another half of those are going to be in a position to write my information down and put it someplace where they say they're going to keep it safe. Like, I'm not expecting 10, 12 people to call me that Frank died. I'm expecting that of those 10 or 12 numbers you gave me, we need at least one person that can call and let me know that he passed away, so that I can be working on getting the death check to Marge and the family while she's dealing with grief, shock, letting family know what's going on and then having to figure out how they're going to pay for all this or how they're going to take care of all this. I want her to have that reassurance that we've already got this taken care of. Why? Because that's what we do from start to finish, from the time we sell the policy to the time we deliver the death check to that family to make sure that their family is taken care of. That's what we do. We don't just sell insurance once and we're done. That's what life insurance agents do. That's not what we do. So as you're setting up this ERS, you let people know, hey, there's over $1 billion out there in unpaid death claims because the insurance companies don't know that Frank passed away. They don't know Marge passed away. Here's a little key. When you're sitting with a client and you tell them, not ask them, you tell them to go get that policy, a lot of times they just tell me, well, they don't know where it's at and I don't know what to do after that. I don't know what to say when they tell me they can't find it. Well, here's what I say, Frank, you can't find your policy. You have no idea where it is. No, we took it out a few years ago and I don't know where the paperwork is. Okay, Frank, if you don't know where it is and you stroked out on me tonight and passed away, if you don't know where it is, how do you expect your kids or grandkids to know where this is, to know that, hey, he had this in place and we're going to take care of his burial with this? You don't know where it is. How the heck are they supposed to know where it is? You tell me it'd take you forever to find it. How the freak do you think they're going to find it if you don't know where it is? This is just stuff that helps you help people see, come on, let's get this stuff figured out. Let's take care of this now. Let's be smart about this and not just try and push somebody off. But remember, if they don't like you and they don't trust you, they're going to push you off. They're going to keep pushing you off. But if they like you and they trust you because they know you care, they know you give a crap about them and their family, they're going to let you help them. They're going to go look for it. They're going to let you call and find out what they're paying on, because they want you to make sure that their family's taken care of. They're only going to do that if they like you and they trust you. Man, I love this. I love this. It's just, I get when you're brand new and and you're just, I got to sell, and I got to make money. That's what I got to do. If you'll listen to what I'm teaching you, and if you'll listen to the passion in my voice when I'm telling you, you got to care about these people and their situation, and you got to picture it if it's your family in that same situation. That's what's going to help you excel quicker. That's what's going to help you get in touch with people quicker. That's what's going to help you connect with people quicker, faster, and allow you to make more sales. But if you're just going in with the mindset, I got to make money this week, and I hope they sign up. They sent a card in. I hope they're serious about this. That's the big difference. One is way more effective, and the other, you're just going to have to do a whole hell of a lot more numbers to try and match what you're doing over here if you give a crap about them and you're just willing to take that time to connect and show them that you care. So I'll wrap it up with this. When you're in the home, whether you make a sale or not, get referrals. Get referrals. If somebody honestly is at a point where they're like, hey, I've let you look at my coverage. You've told me it's good. You told me it's the best options out there. Frank, did they set up your ERS when they were out here? Well, what's an ERS? Help them out. Set up their ERS. Frank, I know I'm not the one that sold you this. It sounds like it's been a few years since your agent talked to you last. Maybe he's doing the business. Maybe he's not. This is what's best for you. I'm not touching it. I'm not trying to take it away. Here's my number. And I open the policy up and write it on the front page of the policy. Here's my name. Here's my number. If you ever have any questions or concerns, or when you pass away, Marge pulls this policy, this file out, she needs to call me. It's true, I didn't sell it to you, and that's not my concern. My concern is making sure your family's taken care of to the point of where Marge needs this when you pass. Whether that other agent touches base with you or not, again, we're going to make sure y'all are taken care of. Hey, in order to help me take care of this, when you pass, who are the top 10 or 12 people locally that would be the first to find out you passed away? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to call them. I'm going to give them my contact information. I'm going to give them my name and number that they can have on file to call me no matter when this happens, and we'll help get that death claim started for Marge and the family right away. And man, when you will do that, like that level of confidence and trust and belief that these people now have in you to take care of them and go the extra mile that you didn't have to do, that no other agent has ever done for them. You think that your name's not going to be the first one they're going to give to their friends and family. Maybe their life insurance is good, but you think that yours won't be the first name that's going to get passed to their friends and family. I'm telling you guys right here, right now, that is the difference that separates the agents that struggle in the beginning because they're trying to sell versus the agents that say, hey, I'm new to this. I'm going to mess it up. But I'm going to go out and I'm going to couple the activity, just insane activity, and the knowledge that I'm getting from what I'm hearing and what I'm learning. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to help these people. And I'm going to let those experiences help teach me even more. And I'm going to go out, and now we're on a mission to see how many families we can help and maximize to the fullest with the protection for their families. Or, well, I lost that one because they just weren't interested, so I got to go out and try and sell the next one. I hope you can see the difference between these two. And if you do, and you take it to heart and you apply this, everybody on this call right now has the potential to be at the tops of the leaderboards in the alliance and the whole entire insurance industry, if your focus is not being a life insurance agent, but being their agent for life that they can depend on, and that they know that their family can depend on, and that you're going to take care of them as well. So I hope that helps, guys. I know I'm a little over. We can definitely highlight some of the other questions, talk more about that, but time's up short here tonight. So let's go ahead and wrap it up, and let me know how I can help. Nick and Mike, huge, Rachel, big leaders stepping up, making a difference. Reach out to them as well. We'll do what we can. Thanks, guys.